Yeah. What's unfortunate?
An episode where you talk the most is being recorded over the internet in your hotel room.
Well, how bad is the audio on your end?
That's not bad.
But I have it recording on this end if you can convert an M4A or use it. So
that's what Zoom saves audio files as anyways.
Okay. So yeah, you should be good to go.
Yes.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me. Sorry, I just saw
you can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram at namely90s with the 90s. You can also find us on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s and sign up for one of our support levels. Greetings.
Hello.
Is this the first remote episode we've done? For me?
I think so.
It is.
Well, I mean, technically, you recorded remotely in your podcasting.
True,
place
but I mean, like, me on the road, because I'm on the road now.
Yes. I think so. I guess so. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to think, because did we have to do that when we had guests on, maybe? No.
Possibly, no.
Yeah, no, I don't think we had.
So, we were just talking about this. I'm going to see Oppenheimer again tonight.
Ah, yes. In IMAX, though, this time. Because the destruction wasn't enough last time.
I saw it with Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
I said we should see this in IMAX. Well, she suggested we see it again, and I suggested IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
And then my theater pulled it from IMAX to play Blue Beetle, because, 17 people wanted to watch it in the entire country.
It's actually doing pretty well.
Oh, I heard that it did poorly.
No, I heard that it's like the new Iron Man.
Oh, I read several headlines that said it did terribly.
Oh, well, maybe I read the wrong.
I mean, it did dethrone Barbie after 4 weeks in the theater.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
But anyway, so I'm going tonight at 10:30, and
to see Blue
I got
Beetle.
this email saying, no. Anyway, I got this email saying the show will start promptly at 10:30 because we don't have any videos to show, any previews to show you in IMAX.
Good.
So that's fine. But the place I'm going, the only IMAX theater here is in the sketchiest mall in town.
Oh.
So I'm probably going to be stabbed, just so you know.
Well, good thing you are driving a terrible,
super slow, terrible car that no one will want to take.
Exactly.
I'll just keep my cash in my bra.
Don't you keep it in your fanny pack that you keep under your shirt?
But I am excited to see it again. I'm taking my motion sickness. I got this new motion sickness thing called Relief Band.
Oh.
It looks like a watch, and you put it on the underside of your wrist. So you wear it those weird people who wear their watch on the underside of their wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And it has these two contact plates that touch and you put a little bit of electric conductivity gel.
Uh-huh.
And it does a little impulse to your nerves there, and it actually is clinically proven to reduce nausea from motion sickness.
I can't tell if this is a bit or if this is something that's actually...
No, this is a real thing. It came out recently, and it's actually backed by data, clinical studies.
Well, no, I've seen the hippie, here's the two pieces of metal on the other side of the bracelet, and it's exactly what you're describing. This is an
electronic device that you charge.
Oh,
and
that's the
it
difference.
Actually stimulates either the radial or ulnar nerve, which is it's the radial nerve because my uncle, this is all about to sound very hokey, is a chiropractor. And he was once telling us to suppress your gag reflex, which I need to do all the time.
Especially at
you
the
squeeze your
Oppenheimer.
thumb like this as hard as you can, and I think that stimulates the same radial nerve.
Gotcha.
But this does it through electrical shock.
Is that
basically
why you
I'm
see?
having electroshock.
Is that why you see people like rubbing the area around their pulse?
That could be. I usually rub it with crystals.
Yes,
Like-
JO crystals.
The JO.
I'll send you the article.
I have that super me up. Anyway, yeah, but the sense of motion makes me a little sick. I saw Avatar in 3D and I almost threw up, so I had to close my eyes and I fell asleep.
Right. And that was over a decade ago. Yeah.
To be fair.
Were you feeling nauseated during Oppenheimer?
No, but this time I'm seeing it in IMAX, although I'm not right up front, so I should be okay. But I'm going to bring it with me just in case.
You did say there was a lot of shaky cam, right?
No, actually, it's just a bunch of people talking, as what Logan Paul said. Was it Jake Paul?
No, I think it was Logan, and then we tried to figure out which one we hated more.
Yeah. Logan Paul left Oppenheimer because it was all talking.
Yes. He wanted more sex scenes between Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb.
It is a biopic.
I hate it when people say it that way, and then people are like, "That's how you say it." I'm like, "No, it's not."
Biopic.
Yes,
Idiot.
it's a portmanteau.
Idiot.
It's not like it's some name that we invented a long time ago called biopic, and that's what
we talk about. Current Malone doing a cover of Darius Rucker's.
That's why I was laughing when we started the episode, because normally I have a static outline for the episode, but this is Andrew's episode, and he sent me his live doc that he was editing while we started, apparently, because this wasn't there 30 seconds ago. And he had a Post Malone joke there. I don't know. Are we going to just talk about how you've completely forgotten an episode of Namely 90s we did in 2021?
It is funny because you did show me that, and I did entirely forget. And that meme is from like so long ago.
Which you can tell by the quality of the photo. Yes.
Yeah, I sent you that picture.
Yeah.
We had a little thing. A few hours went by, and then Kayla sent me the exact same picture today.
What? You guys really need to get off Facebook. Like,
I don't know where she found it.
I'm going to say Facebook.
It could be.
Just
but I love that
because
she saw it and thought it was funny and sent it to me. Like, that's so Raven.
That's so Raven. No, so yeah, Andrew sent me that, if I remember to put it up, because apparently last week I forgot to put up the two graphs that you were showing in the video format, which is why you should check out namely90s.com, youtube.com/@namely90s, so you can comment when I forget to put things in.
Wait,
anyway,
what graphs?
Of the flight chart going up and down.
Oh, yeah, the flight chart.
Yeah. And I was just like, you sent me this meme, and it's the Rolling Stone article about Post Malone doing a cover of Hootie and the Blowfish's "I Only Want to Be With You" for the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, which was 2 years ago, and the album came out in October of 2021. And in November of 2021, in episode 79 of this podcast, I made Andrew watch the cover of that song beforehand, and we have a full 5-minute discussion about this exact thing.
I'm going to go back and actually listen to that discussion.
Because I just listened to it for that very reason. And your main takeaway was, this just makes me want to listen to the actual song.
Yeah, that's usually what remakes do.
Right. But yeah, that's episode 79, November 1997, from season 1, featuring Starships Troopers, Flubber, and Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Yeah.
Thumping.
Tum-dum-bing-bing. Yes, so there's that. But speaking of remakes, I sent you the trailer for Good Burger 2, which dropped, or teaser trailer, which dropped, I think, on Monday. So like a week ago, if you're listening to this on Monday. And it's like a 30-second teaser trailer for Good Burger 2, a movie that is being made.
Why?
Like, because people want Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell to reunite on a project. And apparently this is the project that they decided is worth enough IP to do. Didn't see Sinbad in the teaser trailer. He was in the original movie as the manager or a co-worker.
That reminds me. Yeah. You're talking about this. The thing where like you think there's a thing that happened in pop culture.
The Mandela effect.
Actually happened. Mandela. Thank you. We were trying to think of that the other day.
The Mangala effect. Yes.
Yeah.
That's from X-Files season 11. He's like,
is that a joke they do?
Yeah. Well, no. There's this whole. It's a Mandela effect episode, but the paranoid guy that is like trying to make Mulder and Scully realize that it's happening, says, no, people think it's called the Mandela effect, but it's actually the Joseph Mengele effect because people think he died in prison, which is the reason why the Mandela effect is called the Mandela effect. And then he keeps saying it's parallel universes, and then they have to yell at him, it's not parallel universes. Anyway,
is this as in the Nelson Mandela effect?
Yes. Mandela, because people thought Nelson Mandela died when he was in prison for all those years, but then he came back and was, I want to say, president of South Africa after apartheid.
Funny enough, he comes up in this episode.
He is dead now, by the by. Max.
Yes.
No. He's in which episode?
He's been incarcerated. Now I'm just confused.
Wow. In this episode, because that makes sense.
Yep.
I didn't start the timer early, so
I think we've done 10 minutes.
Let's do it.
So for this episode, in honor of the fact that The Equalizer 3 starring Denzel Washington is coming out September 1st.
We're doing a Dakota Fanning episode.
Yes. She's actually in this one.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're gonna talk about Denzel Washington, who for me is one of my favorite actors. The problem is all the movies of his I like are from the 2000s.
Yes. Which was fun because I was helping you do some of the research on this, which is to say I put maybe 20 minutes of effort into this. And
more to come on this point though later, you'll see.
Okay. I was just like looking over, I was like, Andrew only knows this movie because of Family Guy. Andrew only knows this movie also because of Family Guy. It was funny. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. We'll do some background and then we'll move into some of the specific movies, and then I have a BuzzFeed quiz should we need to have time to do it. That made no sense.
Yep.
All right. Feel free to interrupt at any time. Why do I have to tell you that?
Because that's you giving me a gift, and in this improv that we're doing, I will take it and run with it. And I literally just interrupted you moments ago.
Denzel Hayes Washington Jr. was born in Mount Vernon, New York on December 28th, 1954. His mother, Lennis, which I've never heard as a name before, or Lynn, was a beauty parlor owner and operator, born in Georgia and raised in Harlem, New York. His father, Denzel Hayes Washington Sr., wow, shocking, was an ordained Pentecostal minister.
You're not familiar that Lynn is short for Lennis?
I thought it was for Linstifer. In addition to being a Pentecostal minister, he was also an employee of the New York City Water Department and worked at a local department store. Busy guy. Really didn't make enough as a pastor to... That's pretty typical. A lot of them were bivocational.
Yeah, especially like pastors and ministers, because they don't rely on like the church to supply them with... Yeah.
Aspiring actors. Washington attended Pennington Grimes Elementary School in Mount Vernon until 1968. His parents divorced when he was 14, at which point he went to the Oakland Military Academy in New Windsor, New York. It seemed it was going to be Oakland, California. But
I know. This is tripping me out because like there's a Mount Vernon in Washington.
In Washington.
Yeah.
Washington later said of that, that decision changed my life because I wouldn't have survived in the direction I was going. The guys I was hanging out with at the time, my running buddies, have now done maybe 40 years combined in the penitentiary. They were nice guys, but the streets got them. He earned a BA in drama and journalism from Fordham in 1977, and at Fordham he played collegiate basketball as a guard.
That will come in handy later.
After a period of indecision on which major to study and taking some time off, he worked as a creative arts director of the overnight summer camp at Camp Sloan YMCA in Connecticut. Although, what are you doing overnight that requires creativity? Are you sleeping?
Especially back
I make a good point, and you know it.
In the 70s. Well, I mean,
they were just doing acid.
It's a summer camp. It's a sleepaway camp. You're there the whole time.
Creative arts for the overnight. Oh, I get it. I thought you meant like just for the overnight shift or something. I'm like, they're sleeping. The camp is an overnight. Okay, got it. It's on the day camp.
Andrew's a little sleep deprived.
He participated in a staff talent show for the campers, and a colleague suggested he try acting. And the rest is history. This has been Namely 90s.
That was good.
Returning to Fordham that fall with a renewed purpose, he enrolled at the Lincoln Center campus to study acting, where he was cast in the title roles in Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones and Shakespeare's Othello. He then attended graduate school at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, New York, San Francisco, California, where he stayed for 1 year before returning to New York to begin a professional acting career. He did a bunch of stuff no one cares about, and then, I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, St. Elsewhere
that's every actor.
Wasn't that a popular 80s?
Everything leading up to St. Elsewhere was so obscure that I just didn't even bother.
Gotcha.
A major career break came when he started as Dr. Philip Chandler, which is funny because I'm in Chandler, Arizona right now, and one of my favorite characters is Chandler from Friends.
There we go.
Could that be any weirder? Anyway, in NBC's television hospital drama, St. Elsewhere, which ran from 1982 to 1988. He was one of only a few African-American actors to appear on the series for its entire 6-year run.
Because let's be clear, a fictional town or a hospital called St. Elsewhere is, in the 80s, probably going to be not gentrified, right. Racially divided. Nope.
Let's see. In 1990, he starred as Bleak Gilliam in the Spike Lee film Mo Better Blues, which I've personally never heard of. Washington was reunited with Lee to play one of the most critically acclaimed roles of his career, the title character of 1992's Malcolm X.
Now, I always get that one confused with American History X.
That's fair.
That's not fair at all.
I mean, just the X thing. I don't know. Whatever. His performance as the Black nationalist leader earned him another nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actor. The next year, he played the lawyer of a gay man with AIDS in the 1993 film Philadelphia. During the early and mid-1990s, he starred in several successful thrillers, including The Pelican Brief with Julia Roberts in 93, Crimson Tide with Gene Hackman in 95, as well as the Shakespearean comedy Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah, who's in that?
1996. I don't know. I feel like people made Much Ado About Nothing in that movie. I'm so sorry.
No, keep going.
In 96, he played a U.S. Army officer who investigates a female chopper commander's worthiness for the Medal of Honor in Courage Under Fire, opposite Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Now, Tom Hanks is there.
Because the Kenneth Branagh. Yeah.
He's in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
In 1996, he appeared as Whitney Houston. It's in the romantic comedy, The Preacher's Wife.
Oh, Keanu Reeves and Michael Keaton were in that version of Much Ado About Nothing.
I gotta speed this up. 98, starred in Spike Lee's film He Got Game. The same year, he was in the supernatural horror film Fallen with John Goodman, James Gandolfini, and Donald Sutherland.
You've only been going for 8 minutes.
Okay. In 1999, he starred alongside Angelina Jolie in The Bone Collector. And there's probably a porn named that. And in 1999, Washington starred in The Hurricane, a film about boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter, whose conviction for triple murder was overturned after he spent almost 20 years in prison. He received a Silver Bear Award at the Berlin International Film Festival for his role as Carter, and Roger Ebert, film critic for the Chicago Sun-Times, wrote of Washington's performance, "This is one of Denzel Washington's great performances, on par with his work for Malcolm X." It says on a par, but I don't think that's correct.
On a par, yeah.
Rip to the Max?
Rip to the Max.
Sissel's dead. Wait, which one's dead?
Aren't they both dead at this point?
Okay. Somehow we're going... Oh, this is more personal life. In 1983, he married Pauletta Pearson, whom he met on the set of his first screen work, the television film Wilma. They have 4 children, John David, also an actor and former football player, Katya, who graduated from Yale with a BA in 2010, and twins Olivia and Malcolm. Malcolm graduated from UPenn with a degree in film, and Olivia played a role in Lee Daniels' The Butler. Lee Daniels' The Butler.
I don't know the joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Gotcha.
I was going to make a joke about the guy from Dumb and Dumber, but...
What about...
Greg Daniels?
Wait.
Jeff Daniels.
Oh, yes.
Jeff Daniels filmed The Butler. No, he didn't do that. In 1995, Washington and his wife renewed their wedding vows in South Africa with Desmond Tutu officiating. He, in his personal life, is a Pentecostal evangelical Christian and a member of the West Angeles Church of God in Christ.
Isn't
located in... What?
Isn't Desmond Tutu like Anglican? Is that the same thing?
I think these are separate points.
Okay. No, I just meant like, can he marry them if they're not in the same church?
I mean, they're already married, it's just renewal of vows, right?
Okay.
He says he has considered becoming a preacher. He stated in 1999 that a part of me still says, maybe, Denzel, you're supposed to preach. Maybe you're still compromising. He served as the national spokesman for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America since 1993. He's appeared in several PSAs and awareness campaigns. In mid-2004, he visited the Brooke Army Medical Center at Fort Sam, Houston, where he participated in a Purple Heart ceremony, presenting medals to 3 Army soldiers recovering from wounds they received while stationed in Iraq. In 1991, I don't know why I'm going all over the place, he was awarded an honorary doctorate from Fordham University for having impressively succeeded in exploring the edge of his multifaceted talent, which is more than him just Googling things on Wikipedia. Wikipedia things on Google.
Gotcha.
On October 11th, 2021, the U.S. Army made Washington the 2021 Honorary Sergeant Major of the Army at the annual association, the U.S. Army Conference, for his work with the Fisher House Foundation, which provides free homes for military families while receiving medical care.
That's cool. I didn't know that, like, a college that they would give out, like the military can give out honorary ranks.
I know. It's pretty cool.
I mean, maybe cool is not the right word, but interesting.
It's an honor, certainly.
Yes.
He made some random person like drop and give him 50 because he's now his boss or something.
Yeah. We're making you an honorary 5-star general.
Yeah, he has command of like the Pacific Fleet.
Yeah.
And on July 1st, 2022, the White House announced that Washington would be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
For fictional things or like for his work that he just did?
For being an all-around great guy. But despite all of his successes and accolades, would controversy threaten to destroy his career? And now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helped stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the final season of Archer premiering, we're looking back at one of the inspirations for the character, James Bond, in Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Dies is a 1997 spy film and the 18th in the James Bond series, the second one to star Remington Steele. The film also stars Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elizabeth Swann's dad as Steve Jobs meets Rupert Murdoch, Lois Lane from Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Mr. Vargas from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and J. Edgar Hoover's mother in J. Edgar. The story starts with Dante's Peak at a terrorist arms bazaar and is forced to steal a fighter jet with nuclear missiles when a Royal Navy admiral fires a missile at the bazaar and can't abort it. Meanwhile, evil Steve Jobs' associates purchase a device at the bazaar that allows him to hack and fake GPS signals, which lures in the HMS Devonshire and gets sunk by evil Steve Jobs' stealth attack yacht in China's seas. And then they shoot down a Chinese jet sent to warn off the Devonshire with the Devonshire's own missile, causing an international incident which they can report on first and shape the news how they want. The Lawnmower Man is given 48 hours to investigate the incident and evil Steve Jobs before the Royal Navy gets to China. So he travels to Hamburg to seduce evil Steve Jobs' desperate housewife, who was his ex-girlfriend and or more likely just an ex-lover, and rekindles that relationship, getting him some information and some lovin'. And then she gets killed by an assassin. Robinson Crusoe encounters Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, who is investigating the same case except from the Chinese side, and together they uncover evil Steve Jobs' scheme. Something, he bribed a Chinese general to begin a naval war with the British and secure him broadcast rights in the People's Republic. The duo boards evil Steve Jobs' stealth attack yacht to prevent a missile being fired at Beijing, and after multiple attempts to stop it being captured and one-on-one fighting with various crew members and villains, the pair stop the missile from being launched and foil evil Steve Jobs' plan, killing him and most of his crew and exploding the stealth attack yacht. The movie ends with the two sharing a romantic moment while their respective governments search for them amongst the wreckage. And that's Tomorrow Never Dies in a Namely 90s minute, more or less.
And now, back to the show. No, it wouldn't. I can't find any dirt on this guy.
Well, okay.
He's like one of Hollywood's great, he's been married since 1984.
Mm-hmm.
He's just I like to think he's a cool guy. I mean, he could be a total douche, but there's very few people in Hollywood that just are universally liked and don't have problems. I feel like Tom Hanks is one of them, although he did push that one guy that was trying to take a picture of his wife or something. But
yeah,
I would too.
Yeah, you have.
Who else doesn't have anything against them? I mean, can you think of any other celebrities?
Well, I mean, I was thinking up to this point, it's interesting that because I did the episode on Samuel L. Jackson, and if there's two prominent black actors from the 90s, one would be Samuel L. Jackson, the other one would probably be Denzel Washington, but their journey to becoming those prominent actors kind of took similar paths, which was interesting. And so that's what I was thinking when you're going through his whole history there. And I don't know. Samuel L. Jackson had a little bit more of a hard time with the if I recall correctly, he had a drug problem somewhere between the 80s and the end of the 80s and before the early 90s. But it sounds like Denzel's more, he got out before he was dragged down by society and the world around him. Which
also, Denzel was the first one to talk to Will Smith after he slapped Chris Rock.
And also Tom Hanks after pushing the photographer away from Rita Wilson.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So for the second half, we're going to just talk through some of the movies from the 90s. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because there's a lot of them, but I think we should all be aware of them. And then we may have a short BuzzFeed quiz at the end.
Sure.
So as we talked about earlier, he starred in Malcolm X, a 1992 epic biographical drama film, or biopic, if you will,
I hate you.
about activist Malcolm X. Directed and written by Spike Lee. Directed and co-written by Spike Lee. Stars Denzel along with Angela Bassett, Albert Hall, Al Freeman Jr., and Delroy Lindo.
As well as
Lee has a supporting role.
Giancarlo Esposito's in that, as well as Karen Allen, Peter Boyle, Christopher Plummer, and Wendell Pierce.
Oh, I hadn't quite got there yet. I was going to say, because I just wanted to mention the fact that the Black Panther Party co-founder Bobby Seale, Reverend Al Sharpton, and future South African president Nelson Mandela. No. Mandela.
Joseph Mengele is in the film. Small role.
Made a cameo appearance. And as you said, those other actors are also in it.
Oh,
Gus
sorry.
Fring and the guy from Knives Out.
And the girl from Indiana Jones.
Thank you. Who's Wendell Pierce?
He's another black actor. You'd probably recognize him if you saw him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why. He's the guy from Jack Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he isn't there? I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen him in the previews.
Show. I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Anyway. The next one is the Pelican Brief, which is about bird underwear. No, just kidding.
I thought it was a pelican being informed about things.
It's a 1993 American legal thriller based on the 92 novel by John Grisham. It stars Julia Roberts in the role of a young law student, Darby Shaw, and Denzel Washington as Washington Herald reporter Gary Grantham.
That had to be confusing.
Yeah. In this movie, a law student uncovers a conspiracy, putting herself and others in danger. It also stars William Atherton, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, and Cynthia Nixon.
I forget who Cynthia Nixon is.
Let's see. Philadelphia.
Oh, she's the one from Sex and the City.
This is a 1993 American cream cheese movie. I'm sorry, I can't stop myself. It's a 19...
As they get seriouser and seriouser, they keep
it's a 1993 American legal drama written by Ron Neiswaner. Okay. And starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. It's filmed on location in its namesake city. It tells the story of attorney Andrew Beckett, played by Tom Hanks, who comes to ask a personal injury attorney, Joe Miller, played by Washington, to help him sue his employers who fired him after discovering he was gay and that he had AIDS. It grossed $206.7 million worldwide, becoming the 9th highest grossing film of 93. It was positively received by critics for its screenplay and the performances of the two actors. Hanks won the Academy Award for Best Actor, and Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen won the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
The Boss.
It is it's notable for being one of the first mainstream Hollywood films not only to explicitly address HIV and AIDS and homophobia, but also to portray gay people in a positive light. I'm only laughing because I made a note there that's just for you.
Gotcha.
And, it also starred Mary Steenburgen, Antonio Banderas, and Bradley Whitford. And this one's my favorite, I think. The Preacher's Wife, the 1996 American Christmas comedy drama.
It's
not
right out there
for such a churchgoer.
It's right out there with Die Hard.
It was directed by Penny Marshall and starred Denzel Washington, Whitney Houston, and Courtney B. Vance, who I know as ADA Carver from Law and Order: Criminal Intent. I liked him in that. It is a remake of the 1947 film The Bishop's Wife, which in turn was based on the 1928 novel of the same name by Robert Nathan. In this movie, an angel comes to Earth to help a preacher save his church and his family. I'm assuming he plays the preacher.
Who? Denzel is the angel. The preacher is Courtney B. Vance.
Oh, and then he's with... Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Moving on. We're getting there.
It's like... Game. It's like the movie Michael, except nothing like it other than the fact that a angel comes to
town. The only thing I like with the movie Michael is the meme or the gif of like John Travolta looking around like confused with his...
Which he also does in yes. I feel like he also does in Pulp Fiction.
The Siege is a 1998 American action thriller.
Did you just skip over He Got Game?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I did. He Got Game, 98 sports drama film written, produced, and directed by Spike Lee with Denzel Washington and Ray Allen. It revolves around Jake Shuttlesworth, a father of the top-ranked basketball prospect in the country, Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus.
They own an airport shuttle company and have since the 1700s. Jake, who is in prison for killing his wife, is released on parole.
Why are you not in improv with me?
by the state's governor to persuade his son to play for the governor's alma mater in exchange for a reduced prison sentence. It also stars Mila Jovovich, John Turturro, and Rosario Dawson.
All people Andrew
isn't she the one who
recognizes.
keeps saying that like the train is the size of the Chrysler building in that runaway train movie that Denzel was in, like the
Men in Black
2010s?
What?
No, there's a movie where like the train can't be stopped, and he and Chris Pine have to stop it before it like implodes an entire town. And Rosario Dawson just keeps saying it's the size of the Chrysler building.
Is she in that? I didn't
and
realize
SNL
that.
did a sketch. I think she is.
Let me see.
What is that called?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Thank you. It is her, isn't it?
Yeah, she's
I'll send
in
you
it.
the SNL
No,
sketch. She's fun of that too.
She's in it. I've probably seen it.
Cecily
I've
Strong
actually
just
seen.
keeps saying it's the size of the Chrysler building.
It's. I've also. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of that movie, but it was on television.
Now our next one. Finally, I'll get back to it. The Siege is a 1998 action thriller film directed by Edward Zwick. It is about a fictional situation in which terrorist cells have made several attacks in New York City. The film stars Denzel Washington, Annette Bening, Tony Shalhoub, or Monk, and Bruce Willis. The secret U.S. abduction of a suspected terrorist leads to a wave of terrorist attacks in New York City, which leads to the declaration of martial law. And I feel like this is the only time I remember Bruce Willis being kind of the villain in the movie. The other time was 1997's The Jackal with Richard Gere, which for some reason, like, Jacob really liked when we were kids. It wasn't really a kid-appropriate movie.
I mean, most of the stuff that we watch as kids wasn't kid-appropriate.
Who's in that? Who's in that with Richard Gere?
I
want to say it's...
Never seen it before. Sidney Poitier, Jack Black.
Okay, none of these people mean anything to me.
Jack Black?
Okay, yeah, true. Fair enough. Moving on, so I just have a couple more, or one more to get through. The Bone Collector. We already talked about this one a little bit. It's a 1999 American crime thriller film and stars Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. The film is based on the 1997 crime novel of the same name, written by Jeffrey Deaver, concerning the tetraplegic detective Lincoln Rhyme. A quadriplegic ex-homicide detective and his partner try to track down a serial killer who's terrorizing New York City. Denzel, Angelina Jolie, Queen Latifah, who is currently playing the Equalizer on television, Luis Guizman, Michael Rooker, and Ed O'Neill. What?
I just pronouncing all of their names wrong for... Was that the bit?
Okay,
I was looking up The Jackal. Daniel Day Kim's in it as a Japanese person. Larry King's in it.
As a Japanese person.
As a Japanese, J.K. Simmons is in it as an FBI agent.
I like J.K. Simmons. It's worth noting that NBC did a garbage reboot series based on this called Lincoln Rhyme, Hunt for the Bone Collector. It lasted for one season in 2020. Just stop trying. Why have I not seen any of these movies?
Why is Queen Latifah misspelled?
These movies all sound great. I now have to watch all of them. Especially because they have one of my favorite actors. So and
you've clearly seen all of his 2000s movies.
Yeah, I have. Except Unstoppable.
You haven't seen Unstoppable?
The only thing that's unstoppable is the badness of that movie.
Yeah, but that hasn't stopped you from watching every other Denzel Washington movie. Not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying in general. Yeah, yeah. Or
you want to do this BuzzFeed quiz?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure.
Okay, we're doing a BuzzFeed quiz. This is probably the worst BuzzFeed quiz I've ever seen. But it was the only one that was really pertinent. So,
and it's called "This quiz will reveal which Denzel Washington character fits your personality." And
it's only 3 different options, which is annoying
per question. So there's only going to be 3 answers:
Greasy Alonso or Coach Herman Boone.
What?
The subheading says that.
Seriously? What?
Yeah.
I don't even know who these characters are.
Question 1. What kind of pet do you have? Dog, cat, or none? cat?
I have none.
What does none mean?
No pet.
What does that indicate?
I'm gonna assume Alonzo has no pet. Who are these characters? Who would you like to?
I know who Creepy is from Man on Fire.
How
would you avenges Dakota Fanning's kidnapping or whatever?
Okay. How would you like to spend a Friday night? Watching sports, date night, at work, making money. Date night.
I'm usually making money on Friday nights.
Fair.
Which outfit best fits you? Sunday's best, casual sweatpants and a hoodie, or all black?
All black for me.
I'd go casual.
Do you get upset easily? No. Yes, extremely, or yes.
I would say yes for me. I mean, yes.
I mean, other than you, who I text constantly about the people that cut me off on the road, I would say no.
Yeah, that's fair. You have to have an outlet for your enragement.
Yes.
What's your go-to music genre? Rock/pop, which are two different things. Hip - space hop, or classical?
There is a space. Oh god. I think we could choose the same one on here.
I'm going rock pop.
Rock/space pop. Do you work well with others? Yes, if they do what I say. Yes, easily. I get more done by myself. Honestly, I get more done by myself.
I think I'd get along with others easily.
He said as a former manager of people.
What is your favorite meal of the day? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Well, saw that one coming. This is a tough one. I had a hard time answering this.
This is a hard one.
I like lunch a lot.
I like dinner because you can go harder for dinner.
True.
Like, it's socially acceptable to eat more at dinner. And I'm a fat person. Go to vacation. Cancun, Mexico. New York / space Los Angeles. Or Grand Canyon.
I
guess I would choose a city because I've been to one of those on vacation before.
I go Cancun.
Sorry, that's yours.
Do you believe in karma? Yes, maybe, and no.
As I've said, little. Yeah. As I've told the story, I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast in the over 204 episodes we've done so far, but when I worked at a Subway as a teenager, this woman came in at like 5 minutes to close when I was like almost had everything put away, and she's like, "Oh, well, I work overnight shifts, and this is just karma because I'm like, you're not open later at night." And I'm like, "No, you intentionally sat outside my Subway for 10 minutes and waited until I've almost put everything away, and then came in intentionally to get a sandwich. That is not karma. That's just being a giant asshole."
I like to believe in karma when someone gets something that they deserve, but I don't think there's like necessarily a force at work there. Personally.
Right. I'm going to put no. What is your favorite kind of film? A comeback story, revenge, or crime? None. I like comedies.
I like a revenge story.
I guess a comeback story. I like an underdog story, which is similar to a comeback.
I'm going to go back to crime. I think crime.
Interesting.
Also, revenge.
Okay. Well, I got Alonzo Harris from. You saw this one within the last year, I want to say, or maybe it was 2 years ago. God, we've been doing this for a while now, haven't we?
Wait.
I got.
Training Day.
Yeah. Oh, we got the same one.
No, I got Remember the Titans, which is his closest movie to the 1990s.
I thought Training Day was 2001.
Yeah.
Remember the Titans is 2000. Yes. Alonzo Harris from Training Day, you're a quick thinker and slow to trust others. You have a mysterious aura about yourself that attracts others to you. Fair. But also, I've never made Andrew smoke. What do they do in that movie?
Is it meth or?
Yes, it's meth. It's meth. It's like, I didn't know you like getting wet. What?
I got Coach Herman Boone from Remember the Titans. You are fun, loving. Wait, fun? It says fun, comma, loving, not fun.
Well, because you're fun and loving.
Loving and mild-mannered, but when you put your mind to something, you will not take no for an answer. So I'm a rapist, apparently.
Went there.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, well, that is it not one of the worst structured BuzzFeed quizzes ever?
Yeah, that's definitely a community member quiz. Thank you to Stone11 with 260 points on BuzzFeed as a community contributor.
Whatever. It's the place where the points, or what something, what was it? The points don't matter. I'm trying to improv that. But, where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Approved and edited by the BuzzFeed community team. So they clearly thought that this was worth doing. And it was updated in December of last year. That's 8 months ago to the T.
It's only 3 characters. He's been in like 75 movies.
One of the comments is there any other answers besides Coach Herman Boone? I've taken it a few times, and that's literally all that has come up. Broke the mold. But yeah, most of the comments are Coach Herman Boone. That's hilarious.
I got greasy the first time I took it.
Oh, really?
But
then how did you get it wrong?
I changed my answers.
Oh, boo. Boo.
I was trying to click through it really fast the first time to test it.
Yep. Because
this time I actually did
sometimes these quizzes are so broken.
I was vetting the quiz, and then I was like, this is awful. And then I copied and pasted it immediately in the outline.
Any final thoughts on Denzel?
I don't know why. He's one of my favorite actors. I need to see all these 90s movies, and then I get to it.
And you could talk about it on the show. You could even force me to watch them as a point of the show. And that's it for this week's edition of Naming 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Join us next week for a variety show episode. Maybe we'll do a boot or reboot. Find us on Instagram and YouTube at Naming 90s with 90s, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future deep dive episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/naming90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, naming90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Man on Fire, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
It's pretty funny.